Police officers, loved ones, and even a former president packing a funeral home to mourn the loss of a fallen NYPD officer from Long Island. You're watching Newsday TV. I'm Macy Egland. Jonathan Diller was killed earlier this week during a traffic stop while on duty. Sherry Einhorn has more from Massapequa Park.
Cloudy, gray skies, and pouring rain. An incredibly somber day throughout Massapequa Park, Nassau County, and New York City. Family and friends lining up to pay their respects to NYPD officer Jonathan Diller. The 31-year-old husband, father, and 3-year veteran of the force was shot and killed Monday night during a traffic stop in Far Rockaway. His death sending shockwaves through this close-knit community.
I'm very sorry for the family. I'm a fireman for 34 years, and I made it through that, and I see what he's doing, a young man like him. It's very sad.
This is a neighborhood filled with firefighters, police officers, and their families who say they're feeling this loss deeply, whether or not they knew the officer personally. This man's son-in-law is a New York City detective.
Just how hard they work and how terrible it is that they have to deal with stuff like this, the families, the extended families, and also the community. Very sad.
Former President Donald Trump arrived a little after 2, spending about 30 minutes with Diller's family. We're told he walked up to the coffin with Diller's widow.
The Diller family you'll never be the same. You can never be the same. And we have to stop it. We have to stop it. We have to get back to law and order. We have to do a lot of things differently because this is not working.
Over the next 2 days, thousands of people are expected to come here to say their final goodbyes.
They stand together. They stand united in the fact that we, stand by our police officers. We stand by those that are willing to sacrifice their life for us, and that's what's so important.
Roads around the funeral home will be closed most of the afternoon and night today and tomorrow. Some stores in the area closed as well. Thousands of members of law enforcement from across the island and the state are also standing in solidarity, a show of force to the rest of the world.
Reassuring to see so many people genuinely hurt, so many people genuinely concerned, and also to see his family, that makes it real.
In Massapequa Park, I'm Sherry Einhorn for Newsday TV.
Wake services continue until 9 o'clock tonight and resume tomorrow at the Massapequa Funeral Home. Diller's funeral will be held Saturday at St. Rose of Lima Roman Catholic Church in Massapequa. He'll be laid to rest at St. Charles Cemetery in Farmingdale. The NTSB is investigating the bridge collapse that happened in Baltimore earlier this week. A cargo ship crashed into the Francis Scott Key Bridge. The agency went onto the ship today.
He was able to identify 56 containers of hazardous materials. That's 764 tons of hazardous materials.
2 people were saved, but 6 construction workers are presumed dead. There were 21 crew members and 2 pilots on board the ship. A former NYPD officer has been found not guilty of murder after allegedly shooting his childhood friend to death. Prosecutors say Eric Allen has been convicted of menacing in the 2nd degree. That charge calls for up to 1 year in jail. Allen has already spent more than 3 years in jail and was sent home today. That shooting happened in Farmingdale back in 2020. Well, there are no more sloths or any animals at all at sloth encounters in Hauppauge. This comes after a judge ordered owner Larry Wallach to remove all of them. The town of Islip says Wallach should be jailed for violating court orders to stop pet sales. A judge will decide on potential charges against him on April 18th. Residents in Suffolk will soon pay more for their water. The Suffolk County Water Authority has raised rates by nearly 3%. That means customers will see an average increase of $4.18 on their water bills. That rate hike goes into effect June 1st. Several Nissan dealerships must pay settlements for allegedly overcharging customers. Barron Nissan in Greenvale and Nissan of Westbury are among 5 dealerships to pay a combined $1.6 million in restitution. The state attorney general says that money will go to more than 1,000 customers. Those customers were given inaccurate receipts and overcharged for their vehicles. Neither dealership could be reached for comment. Stony Brook has pulled its mascot out of a statewide competition. Wolfie, who has more than 4,500 Instagram followers, was in SUNY's Mascot Madness, but the university says after students cast an excessive number of votes, breaking the rules of the competition, they're now pulling the Seawolf out of the running. Participants are only allowed to cast one vote every 12 hours.
Hey everyone, Ken Buffa here in the Newsday newsroom. There's a woman on the East End who's really making a name for herself in the wine business. Steve Langford explained how she's worked her way to the top.
Bedell Cellars, a family-owned vineyard and winery in Cutchogue, is toasting the naming of a new head winemaker.
My first harvest was in 2011, and I've worked my way up in the cellar ever since.
Marin Brennan, who started out in the tasting room here while in college, is the second female winemaker to have served here at Bedell Cellars. Brennan takes over from her mentor, longtime winemaker and viticulturist Richard Olson Harbeck, who will remain involved in the business operations here.
He has taught me so much about sustainability and the North Fork terroir and the type of winemaking that I've now incorporated into the wines I'm creating.
34-year-old Brennan, raised in Miller Place, has made small batch wines for the winery's Corey Creek tasting room and says her goal is to create something new each season.
So just kind of incorporating local products that I've foraged from our beaches and incorporating that into a wine just to highlight more of that North Fork terroir is important and something that I look forward to continuing.
The soil and the sea, just part of the unique potential for winemaking on the North Fork.
So I've gotten to do a lot of experimental wines like Chardonnay aged on seashells, which is the only wine that's been done that way.
In a glass of their own. Steve Langford for Newsday TV.
To read more about Marin, go to Newsday.com, click Get More below the Newsday TV video box.
Here's what's up on Long Island for Easter weekend. We've got a lot of parades to look forward to. There's a crazy hat parade in Bellport on Saturday, and on Sunday there's an Easter vintage car parade in Garden City and an Easter bunny parade down Main Street in Port Jefferson Village. There will also be egg hunts across the island, of course, including the egg scramble at Adventureland in Farmingdale and at White Post Farms in Melville. There's also the Montauk Egg Stravaganza. Or you can visit the Easter Bunny himself. Buster will be at Texas Roadhouse in Selden for breakfast on Sunday. There's also brunch with the Easter Bunny at Dee's Nursery in Oceanside. For admission information and more events, click Get More below the Newsday TV video box on our homepage. So let's take a look at your Long Island weather as you plan out your weekend. Tonight, that rain continues down to about 39 degrees, but tomorrow we turn it around. 55, mostly sunny for your Friday. Day planner showing those clouds are clearing out. Taking a look at your 7-day, right now Easter is looking really good. It'll be dry, about 57 degrees. This is a look at the rest of your week as well.
Long Island weather is brought to you by Home Tax Saver, PTRC Incorporated.
You're watching Newsday TV. I'm Macy Eglund. Thanks for joining us. Have a great night.